Welcome back to Kerbal Hard and Uncut, and we are we're heading to Lathe. Well, we're heading to Joule, actually, more accurately. We're heading to Joule with our two craft that we've set off in the last few episodes. They're on their way, and they're just about to arrive into the sphere of influence. Got what 3 to 1 hours. We're in hours now. The SSTO, although it's ahead, actually arrives later, which is an interesting one. I suppose the planet catches up, and we get an interesting little bit of an encounter. So we're going to be jumping backwards and forwards between both of them. We're going to delete and close that. We're going to be jumping backwards and forwards between them a little bit, I think. So let's just move this forward just a smidgen. Interesting, we're not having a trouble with it losing its encounter, which is quite nice, although I am always concerned when we go across a sphere of influence change like that we're going to have a problem. But let's just slow it down just a little bit there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So here we are. Right, we are now into the sphere of the influence. Right, I want to. That's Lathe we're focused on. I don't want to focus on Lathe. I want to focus on Joule. There we go. Right, let's have a look. I want to put a burn in here, right there. So add maneuver. We want to capture. I want to capture maneuver. That's more than I need. Let's just pull that out nice and fast. So what I'm actually going to try and do here is I want to, let's see, I want to set that as target. I want to be looking at doing a plane change as far out as possible. So let's see, how far can we go? You basically want to be as far away as possible, because then you're traveling as slowly as possible. So we can do a plane change to match planes. There we go, come on, all out. Because we want to try and save fuel. Then we'll come back down to the bottom here and bring our apoapsis down properly onto Lathe. Hopefully we might get a flyby Lathe, we might not. We'll see. It'd be nice to get a gravity assist or something to pull us down, but we're not in a big issue and we're not in a big hurry, so that's like 100 days. We're getting minimal change there, aren't we? Yeah, let's do that. That's okay. Let's do that one. Right, so I'm going to add that as a create alarm. I'm going to add that as a maneuver, and that is the we're going to call it the Mark 1 maneuver. Okay, we're going to do that 10 minutes before we need to do it. There we go. It is now locked in. Wonderful. That's going to be in 61 days, which is good because it now means, and that's only a little bit of delta V, and it's going to take us to below the 6,000 meter mark, though, so that's interesting. We're going to switch to the Lathe SSTO. This, of course, is uncrewed. I was going to say unmanned, but it's uncrewed because we don't put men on them. We put Kerbals. It's uncrewed, and it is coming in as well. If we got signal, we have signal. So those antennae are pretty good, actually. And this is going to be a bit of a different one. I wonder if this is coming in slightly different. Anyway, let's have a look. We're going to warp to next. So this one has got about 20 days. We're going to slow down soon, and it's got a bit of an interesting thing going on there. I'm going to actually focus view on Lathe for that, and then we're going to come in. And where are we? All right, I want to, nope, that's not it. That's not what I want to do. I want to do, not Val. Didn't know you could just click on a, that's interesting. You click on an orbital path, it will actually do that for you. Right, so this one, again, delete that. We're going to just bring this in. It's got an encounter in what? Is that minutes or seconds? 9 minutes. Okay, we're gonna speed that up a bit. We can just take it through its through the thing, and we're going to do the same thing there. We're going to plot our capture there, and both of these have got to go to Lathe because, of course, we have our craft around Lathe. In fact, is it showing up? It's not going to show up. Oh, there it is. There it is. There's the Senok around Lathe, and we have to decide what we're going to do with that. Right. So for this one, we're going to do something similar. We're going to put a maneuver node there. We're going to pull that back. There we go. That's a little bit. Now, where's that going to be? Now, we want to target Lathe again, don't we? Where that's Val. Set this target. Right. I would like it if both of them were looking a bit similar. So how many days is that? That's 96. I'm going to let it go a bit. I'd like that to be. That's Bop. I'd like that to be as high out as possible, but I'm not in a hurry for the SSTO, to be honest with you. There we go. Right there. Right. I'm going to have to decide what we do once we get to Lathe, or what we want to do to come into Lathe first. That's going to be the interesting one. So this is the we want to go for a maneuver, and it is going to be, this is going to be the SSTO maneuver. Right, we're going to give that 10 minutes as well. Right, add that alarm. Now we're going to jump back to the Mark 1. We're going to switch to it. So we have to make a decision as to how we want to go through these steps here. I don't feel the need to bring all of the craft together, all three of them. That's, to me, is a bit excessive. The SSTO has to get crew from somewhere. Now the question is, do we send Boleyn down or do we send Colonel down? There's a bit of me doesn't want to risk Boleyn, but then there's also a bit of me that doesn't want to not risk Boleyn, if that makes any sense at all. But we're attached to Boleyn, let's be entirely honest. You know, Boleyn has now landed on 3 moons, 4 moons. I don't even know how many moons she's landed on, how many planets she's gone to. It's yeah, it's a lot. So I think we need to think about that. We need to think about getting her home. It's a bit like the Mark Watney situation, isn't it? Get them home sort of situation. So I think Boleyn has to come home, which means the crew from this has to get on the SSTO. Now I could have just put them on the SSTO to start with, one of them, but I didn't know how the SSTO was going to go, if I'm entirely honest. So I think what I want to do is we're gonna put these lot into orbit around Jewel. We'll put a maneuver node in for changing the inclination. We'll get rid of that. And then I think we're basically going to be looking at just getting into the sphere of influence of Laythe. And then we can try and do some stuff around Laythe. We could actually air a brick, to be fair, lightly around there. I think Laythe's atmosphere is 50 or 60. That's a bit of a risk, actually, isn't it? Thinking about it, I could go on the Kerbalpedia, I believe, is something that I could go on, because somebody mentioned in a comment that I could just do that, and that would tell me the altitude of all these things, which would be a very clever idea. Maybe we should do that. You know, it is the Hard and Uncut series. It's not a learning how to play Kerbal series, but it's always handy. Right, let's have a look. Ooh, isn't that good? How are you doing there, people? Yeah, you having fun? Just fire that engine. I forgot that this one takes a while because it's quite heavy. Of course, what are we looking like for fuel? Are you going down? You are not. Are we taking it? Oh, we're taking it from the top tanks now, are we? Okay. So these ones are going down. What's it like, actually? You know, the one thing I haven't checked, this middle tank, is that okay? So we can afford to move some fuel around potentially. We might get tanks freer than we think. I want to try and basically discard tanks whenever I can, just because they're extra mass, and we are now running on low mass. I mean, I've got RCS on here that I probably don't need. I think it's probably excessive, but you never know. You never know when you're going to need it. Have we actually got parachutes? Yeah, I don't really. And we've got an experiment, really. We don't even have a scientist on board to use the experiment. That's brilliant, isn't it? We'll leave that somewhere, I'm sure. Right, we're going to come in and capture any second now. So that's good. Oh, there we go. Right. So that tells me that we've captured. But have we actually? We have, have we? How far is that out? That is a long way out. Let's take it down just a little bit. I want it to not be too crazy. Let's do there. There we go. Kill that. Right. So this craft I now need to, let's put a marker in there. I now need to put a maneuver node there. Add maneuver. That's the one. Right. And I want to go, is it that way? Yeah. That way. All the way. All the way is that way. I'd also like to, while we're doing it, let's get a little bit of retrograde going on. Bring that in a bit. Oh, yellow. Not that much. Ooh. That's interesting. That helps significantly. How close do I get? And how inclined are we after that? Not bad at all, actually. That's potentially tasty. That's a possibility. It puts us there. It gives us... Or do we just go... Right, let's have a focus view. How close do we get? Right, let's have a little play with this. See if we can do something about it. Get it a little bit more tasty for us. A bit more of... Let's make this very little. Bit of that. Nope. Really? you're not affecting anything, is what you're telling me. What do you mean you're not affecting anything? How is that not doing anything? How is that not changing anything that's going on? Is it really that small? Does it really need to be bigger? Oh, it actually does. Okay, let's bring this in a bit more. This might actually... Oh, hello. No, too much, too much. Just go back a bit. Oh, there we are. Right, we're back. Right. What if we do a little bit of that? Can that help? Ooh, what's that doing to my descending node? Oh, it's getting less. That's interesting. Is it going? It's not going to go anymore. That's going up a bit. So I can actually. Okay, that's getting better. Oh, we can do a little walk with this actually. That's nice. So it's not minus 0.8, 0.7, 0.6, 0.5, 0.4. We're going to get a bit of a gravity slowdown off off lathe, sorry. It's not perfect, but it's not bad. It gives us a bit of something, doesn't it? What's that do to my so that takes us from this here, which would have been, let's have a look. There's the encounter. So we're coming there. We're going, oh, hello. Bad. No, go back the other way. Let's have a look. Can I do a bit of that again? Where's my inclination got? Right. What we're looking at. That takes us down there a bit, gives us a bit less. That would have come in like so and been high, so it's not affected the periaps too much. I'm gonna be happy with that actually. Yeah. So we're going to create an alarm for that, and that's again going to be a maneuver. We're going to call it the Mark 1 maneuver again. We're going to give ourselves 10 minutes of notice. It's 600 meters per second burn. It's a 4-minute burn, which is not particularly pleasant, but it'll do. Right, so that's that one done. Right, let's jump over to the SSTO and see what we can do next. We've got about 2.5 minutes left in this episode. I would really like it to get both of these sort of set up, ready to go. I'm not sure about this SSTO. Yeah, it was from the Discord. I have added a bit to it because of that, because I needed it. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. There's a big chunk of fuel left in this still. What does that tank there do? Are you actually? There's not as much fuel on this as I thought there was. So that at some point is going to disconnect, is it? Yeah, we're going to disconnect that. And then this thing is ready to go. Okay, right. Put that to there. Let's have a look. How far away are we from our required whatever it is we're doing? I wanna bring me into Tylo, because Tylo's nice and big. I wanna focus on there. Right, good. Okay. So that's gonna do that. That's already on its little circular route. Good. Right, let's warp to next. Yeah, so there we go. That one's heading out. That's going to be on a bit of a... It's going to come round and come back, and then we've got the burn to do. It's quite a long journey, that one, isn't it? Right. Do we bring the crew all together? Do we have to? We don't. I mean, technically we don't. We'll have a think about it. We could just send the SSTO down with one of whoever we grab, basically, but I'm not liking the risk factor. I need the engineer in orbit because we need to be able to move some tanks and things around with fuel, because we're probably going to need fuel off things. But could be worse. Oh, start burning 9 minutes. Okay, so we can do a little bit of timey-wimey warpy. Yeah, I think we need the engineer, but then it's either pilot. Either pilot could go down. It might be a death sentence. I don't know. There are parachutes, I believe, on the craft. Yeah, there are. There are parachutes on it, so that's okay. So if we parachute it through the atmosphere, then that's, worst comes to worst, they're parachuted and they're stuck on the ground. I'd rather not do that. I think we'll probably go for like a polar landing, is what I'm thinking for it. Might be a better idea. Let it go and land on the poles, and then I can take off from anywhere. I think might be it, which would work because that's polarish at the moment. All right, 27 seconds. We're going to do our capture burn, but it's going to have to be in the next episode. So from me, until next time, have a great one.